I'm Triple J, and welcome to Brain Food, where I tell you what's yummy and nutritious for your head. For today's episode, the 60th episode of Brain Food, I will be discussing Doug Sharp's book, Channel Zilch, in which a bunch of people steal the space shuttle Enterprise in order to launch her into orbit and start off a reality TV show in outer space. Written very well in the first-person perspective, we follow the trials and tribulations of one Mick Olafson, an ex-NASA astronaut who was fired after performing a stupid stunt with one of the shuttles after a Black Ops mission, just for some kudos from some fellow astronaut pilots. As such, he's forced to go to other means of paying the bills. In this case, flying a plane that sprays manure. So, of course, when a fish entrepreneur named Manuel Chen shows up and offers him the chance to get back into outer space, he's intrigued, but, well, not entirely so. After all, as Mick himself explains, you can't just take up any old, spacecraft into orbit, no matter what kind of rocket you got to attach it to. You need something that's going to be able to hold a good chunk of cargo and give the people on board room to live until they can get, a ticket back down to Earth. You need something like, say, the Space Shuttle Enterprise. And that's where our adventure really begins. And it's quite the adventure. These colorful cast of characters go through some amazing trials and overcome some quite hilarious obstacles in order to get the spaceship into outer space. Now, while Doug Sharp's greatest strength lie in the colorful multitude of side characters that you get to know along the way, as well as some of the main characters, such as Gritch, the space shuttle, and Captain Iswald, the NASA head of security who dogs Mick Olafson every step of the way to Kazakhstan, where they plan to launch from. I find one of the biggest flaws is one of his main characters, who is Helios Chin, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Quite frankly, she's not a character. Not so much a character as she is a collection of characteristics and fetishes and just everything that a geek thinks is good, but without any context of, reality. In fact, here, let me read you the description of Helios Chin. In strides a stunning apparition clad in a dripping wet matte black jumpsuit. A grid of orange lights twinkles on her belly. The lights strobe and form smiley faces, pointing up at her face, framed in short black hair. Her eyes shine through pink-rimmed amber sunglasses glittering with rhinestones. The lenses flicker, a heads-up display. None of the commercial brands of specs, definitely a hacker custom job. She's wired and I'm riveted. I was expecting a middle-aged, standard-issue, male Birkenstock alpha geek, and instead, whoa, a 30-something alpha geek's wet dream. As he reaches to flip out the glasses, I glimpse hairline strips of silver on the back of her fingers. She's vivid and wiry. Her skin is satin honey. Ethnic background, mongrel American, a stunning example of hybrid vigor. And then her eyes, light green eyes that glow like LEDs, barbed pupils that snag my gaze, green eyes. I was born to love women, and Helios Chin is woman, woman, woman. Now, when you have that combined with what we learn later on in the book, and that, of course, she's a hacker extraordinaire, she creates robots on the side expertly, like small, amazing robots, and she has the quirky personality of trying to kill off her emotions because she lost her mother and twin brother due to a failed attempt to stop a underground nuclear weapons test. Oh, and she subdues men by exposing them to her sex math. Yes, you heard that right, sex math. And what we have is a character that doesn't feel real. She doesn't. She just feels like this collection of fetishes and desires of geekdom. And when you add in the fact that she, is Asian, this comes off as super racist, gross edition of yellow geek fever. I mean, ugh. Like you whole heard what I read out loud when we first see her, and yes, we're seeing her through Mick Olson's eyes, but it's almost like he's molesting her with his eyes, and it's just ugh, ugh. As such, despite the myriad of colorful characters that we meet along this, wonderful, hilarious story, the creation of Helios Chin is just such a huge stumbling block. She deserved to be written better by a better writer in this case, instead of being this collection of geek desires compressed into this masturbation fantasy. So I really don't think I can recommend this to anyone, or even to follow up on the other books that come after it. It's a bit of a shame. This is definitely an underdog story about big dreamers, but it's horribly underscored by this one character who could have been so much better in the hands of a more capable writer. I'm Triple J. That's all I got left to say. Take care.